One of my goals for 2026 is to beat more video games. I've also wanted to start a YouTube channel for a long time, so I figured why not start one to document the journey of hopefully beating more games. I know what you're thinking. Shouldn't you pick a goal that benefits your life or the lives of the people around you?
And I'm not judging you, but I'm just saying everybody else is gonna.
And to that I say, no, I don't wanna. Now that we know the goal, let's get into the why. Why is this something I want to do? The answer to that is not as easy to explain as you might think. In order to give you a completely unnecessary and convoluted answer, we have to go back to 1995. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Oh, this is when he's going to tell us how he fell in love with gaming on his Super Nintendo that was given to him by Santa or his video game loving parents. Nintendo! 1995 is not the year I was given a new console or a life-changing game. 1995 is the year I was born. Yes, my parents loved me more than anything. Yes, my parents gave me everything I needed. Yes, I had a childhood that I wouldn't change for the world. Yes, my parents hated video games. So there I am, a brand new baby, thinking I'd come into a world full of Super Mario and Zelda. But no, I was born into a world of Wishbone, reading Rainbow, and playing outside. What's the story, Wishbone? Do you think it's worth it? Another important date in this story is 2010. That is the year my parents got me and my brother a Wii. Not sure what changed my parents' mind. Maybe it was the fact that the Wii had motion controls, so we wouldn't be glued to the couch all day. Maybe it was the constant pestering of my brother and I. Either way, we weren't about to ask a bunch of questions to find out. We were so happy Nintendo should have put us in a commercial. So I finally had a way to play video games, and you already know I had some catching up to do. I had missed so many games people believe to be the best of the best. I have a couple decades of Zelda, Mario, and who knows what else to choose from. So what does 15-year-old Luke choose to play first? Outside of Wii Sports, because everyone and their grandma played that. I mean, literally. I chose the game that anyone with a Wii would choose. Call of Duty World at War. You're probably thinking, what the hell? They made Call of Duty for the Wii? You bet your ass they did, and I was damn good at it. You have to remember, I was 15 at the time. All my friends were coming to school talking about their late night escapades on Xbox Live and their KD on the latest Call of Duty or Halo. I wanted to be part of that, as much as someone with a Wii instead of an Xbox or PlayStation could be. I pretty much just played every Call of Duty they put out on the Wii for the next few years. That's it, nothing else. No Super Mario Galaxy, no Super Smash Brothers, just whatever shitty Call of Duty port they gave me. I can even remember my grandma giving me Twilight Princess one Christmas. I'm sure some Kmart employee told her that I would love it. I didn't even put the disc in my Wii. I went straight to GameStop and traded it in on Iron Man the video game. I wasn't becoming a capital G gamer like I always wanted. I just entered the early stages of brain rot. Once I got a taste of the dopamine rush that is Call of Duty multiplayer, I was hooked. This is around the time I fell in love with YouTube. I would spend hours watching Call of Duty YouTubers. I even uploaded a few videos. I was never consistent and quit uploading, but the desire to post videos on YouTube never really left the back of my mind. For the next 10 years or so, I really didn't do much gaming at all. I usually always had a console, but I would mainly use it as a DVD player or streaming box when that became a thing. Do you guys remember the disc that Netflix would send you? You'd put into your console to be able to use the streaming services? Now, throughout those years, there were times I would pick up a game and play it for a few days or even a few weeks. I remember a time in college where I got the urge to play some games, so I went to GameStop and got Uncharted 2 and 3. I played and beat both those games in about 2 weeks. Then I probably didn't play anything again for 2 years. When Fortnite came out, I remember playing it pretty hardcore for a few months with my friends. Then another long break. That brings us to 2021. That is when I found Apex Legends. You know, the Battle Royale set in the Titanfall universe. To say I was addicted to Apex would be an understatement. Over the next 4 years, I would put around 5,000 hours into the game. I would play it any chance I got. When I wasn't playing it, I was thinking about playing it. I became obsessed with getting better. I would watch tutorials on movement technique and spend hours of my night in the virtual firing range, just shooting dummies in hopes of improving my aim. This is when I first started watching streamers. I was always aware that people were streaming games, but I never saw the appeal until Apex. It's also the first esport that ever appealed to me. I spent countless hours watching pro players stream their matches and tournaments. I had a favorite team and players. I reactivated my Twitter account just so I could stay up to date on the latest news and player drama. This is when I learned that I loved getting better at video games. I got immense satisfaction from practicing mechanics and implementing it in my own gameplay. At the height of my obsession, I was probably playing Apex for 30 or so hours a week. Short from quitting my job, I did just about everything possible to give myself more time to play the game. I didn't know if I would ever play another game again. I thought I would be one of those World of Warcraft guys who's been playing since 1980. But that wasn't the case. I slowly lost interest in Apex. I still play a few games here and there, but nothing like I was. So once again, I had lost my drive to play games. That is, until Elden Ring. What I'm about to say might shock you. Elden Ring was my very first FromSoft game. Surprising, I know. But keep in mind, I'd beat Uncharted 2 and 3, so Malekith the Blackblade wouldn't be a problem, right? Wrong. Not only was he a problem, all the bosses were a problem. And when I wasn't dying to one of the 600 bosses, I was at the round table hole trying to figure out, how the fuck do I upgrade my weapon? Or how did I tell where or what I need to do to progress the main story? And also, what the hell was the story of Elden Ring? I don't know, and I don't believe that you do either. I think I spent more time on the Elden Ring wiki and YouTube walkthroughs than I did playing the game. But just like Apex, I fell in love with getting better at the game. It was scratching that same itch. On my journey to beat Elden Ring, I entrenched myself in the wiki, Reddit threads, and YouTube walkthroughs. I feel like I was really able to learn about not only Elden Ring, but the Souls and Souls-like community. That was really my first exposure to a gaming community centered around a single-player game. The only way I can describe the Souls community is to say that it's full of straight-up psychos. I mean that in the best way possible. The things they can do are incredible. Beat the game without taking damage? Done. Beat the game while being level 1? Done. Beat all FromSoft games without taking damage? Done. And on a dance pad. Elden Ring was the first game I had beat in I can't tell you how long. It felt good. It felt damn good. The euphoric moment of seeing the final boss fall was comparable to my best game-winning clutch of my Apex days. Using Elden Ring as my starting point, I went in search of my next conquest. In 2024, I was able to beat 2 more games, Red Dead Redemption 2 and Spider-Man 2. I had played and beat Spider-Man a few years prior, but had never beat Red Dead 1. But I knew 2 was supposed to be an all-timer. So 2024, I ended the year beating 3 games. To any serious gamer, those are rookie numbers. But for me, it was my best year yet. In 2025, I was able to beat 6 games. In 2025, I got really into Borderlands. It was perfect timing because 4 came out this year. I probably would have beat more games in 2025, but I spent hours on end farming gear and grinding the in-game content of both 3 and 4. That pretty much catches you up on my gaming journey this far. Now that you have all the completely necessary and super interesting backstory, we can get back to the original question. Why? Why beat more games this year? I want to beat more games in 2026 because I love gaming. I don't just love games, I love it all. The communities around games, the brilliant people that come up with unique and ingenious ways to keep you engaged with their game. I love the people that make content around games. I don't have many friends who game or care about games in the same way I do. I want to be in the discussion about games, and that's what I plan to do in 2026. If you care to listen to a big dummy like me talk about games, please follow along and let me know what I should be playing to continue my video game education.